It was just past midnight when the last bus rolled through the fog-drenched streets, its tired headlights slicing through the mist like weak candles in a cathedral of grey. The city had long since fallen, silent shops closed, windows dark, only the occasional echo of dripping rain on pavement. Inside the bus, there were only two passengers. A young man named Alex, heading home after a late shift, and an old woman sitting near the back, clutching a tattered handbag. The driver, a heavy-set man with weary eyes, didn't speak much, just kept his gaze fixed ahead, hands gripping the wheel like the road might vanish if he blinked. The hum of the engine and the rhythmic squeak of the wipers filled the silence. At the next stop, the bus shuddered to a halt, though there was no one waiting. The door hissed open anyway. Fog poured in, curling around the seats like ghostly fingers. Alex frowned and looked toward the driver, but the man's expression didn't change. Then, quietly, footsteps echoed from the mist outside, slow, deliberate. A figure stepped aboard, tall and thin, wearing a long black coat and a wide-brimmed hat that hid his face. He didn't look at anyone as he walked down the aisle and sat directly behind Alex. The air grew colder instantly, heavy with the scent of damp earth. The driver's eyes met Alex's in the rearview mirror. A silent warning. "Rough night, huh?" Alex said nervously, trying to break the tension. No response, just the faint sound of breathing behind him. Too slow, too deep. The bus rumbled forward again. At the next stop, the old woman stood, clutching her bag tightly. "This is me," she whispered to the driver, though the bus hadn't stopped anywhere familiar. The driver nodded quickly, too quickly, and she hurried off into the fog without looking back. The doors closed. Now it was just Alex, the driver, and the man in the black coat. The temperature dropped so sharply that Alex could see his breath. "Sir," the driver said finally, voice trembling, end of the lines coming up. Silence. The man didn't move. The driver glanced in the mirror again, his eyes widened, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. "He's gone," he whispered. Alex turned around and froze. The seat behind him was empty, but it was soaked, as though someone dripping wet had been sitting there. The smell of soil was stronger now. A voice came from the back of the bus, quiet but distinct. "You missed your stop." Alex turned slowly. The man was standing at the very rear, head tilted, face still hidden beneath the hat. "What?" Alex managed to say, his throat dry. "You should have gotten off when you had the chance." The lights flickered, and in that split second of darkness, the man was suddenly closer. Another flicker and closer still. His hat lifted just enough for Alex to see what was underneath. The face was pale, hollow, eyes black pits, mouth stretched too wide as if it had forgotten how to smile like a human. The bus screeched to a halt and everything went silent. When the driver turned around, Alex's seat was empty. Only a wet patch remained where he'd been sitting, and on the fogged window beside it were 3 words drawn by an unseen hand. "End of the line." The driver quit that night, and the bus was later found abandoned on the side of the highway, its headlights still on, engine running, door open to the mist. Passengers say that on foggy nights, if you take the last bus through the city, you might notice an empty seat in the middle that always feels damp, and sometimes you'll see a man in a black coat reflected in the glass, even if no one's there.